Hey everyone, and welcome to this explainer. Today, we're demystify an absolute staple of industrial engineering. If you've ever wondered how massive manufacturing plants fire up giant machinery without instantly blowing their fuses or just completely ripping their gearboxes apart, well, you are in exactly the right place. We're looking at the Star Delta starter. Think of it as this incredibly elegant mechanical hero that solves the completely chaotic problem of starting massive, three-phase induction motors. Okay, let's just dive right into our roadmap for today. We're going to cover the motor starting problem, star versus delta connection, the contactors and the timer, the exact transition sequence, and finally, interlocks and overload protection. All right, starting with section 1, the motor starting problem, specifically direct online. Now, before we can really appreciate the solution here, we have to establish the stakes. What actually happens when you just flip a switch and send full power to a massive industrial motor? Think about the sheer scale of the difference between these two methods. When you use direct online or DOL starting, the motor pulls an incredibly high starting current straight from the grid. We're talking massive, highly disruptive electrical spikes alongside just intense mechanical stress on the motor's internal components. But by using a star-delta starter, you cut that line current down to roughly 1/3 of what a DOL start demands. So you get a beautifully controlled start, though you do drop your starting torque to about 1/3 as well. So let's define exactly what this mechanism is. A star-delta starter is essentially the ultimate reduced voltage starting method. It's designed specifically for three-phase induction motors. By initially connecting the motor windings in a star formation, which is often represented by the letter Y, it limits that dangerous, massive inrush of current. Then, once the motor is safely spinning and up to speed, it switches those windings over to a delta formation for full power operation. It's basically the perfect two-step solution for getting heavy machinery safely up to speed. Moving on to section 2, star versus delta connection, the physics. So why do we actually use these two specific geometric wiring configurations during the starting sequence? Well, the secret lies entirely in how they manipulate voltage. Keep this exact number in your head, 57.7%. When a motor is wired in a star connection, the voltage across each phase of the winding is equal to the total line voltage divided by the square root of 3. What that means in practical terms is that each winding is only getting about 57.7% of the total voltage. And because we've drastically reduced the voltage hitting those windings, we drastically reduce the starting current. It's a gentle, controlled electrical trickle rather than a massive flood. But that brings up a pretty obvious question. If the star connection is so safe and so gentle on the grid, why don't we just leave the motor in star permanently? We've started safely, so why run in delta? Think about it for a second. If you're starving a heavy machine of its voltage, what exactly are you sacrificing in return? The answer is power, pure and simple. Once that motor accelerates to a suitable speed, it needs its full strength to actually do the job it was built for. In a delta connection, the phase voltage equals the line voltage. It delivers 100% of the full rated voltage right to the motor windings. And that is absolutely necessary for the motor to develop its normal running torque and power. Without delta, your heavy machinery would literally just stall out under a real working load. All right, section 3, contactors and the timer, the cast of characters. Now that we understand the why, let's dive into the how by breaking down the actual hardware inside the electrical panel. Honestly, it helps to think of these components like a highly trained relay team. First up, we have the main contactor, or KM1. This is your reliable anchor. Once the motor is on, KM1 is always connected to the three-phase supply. Next is the star contactor, KM2. This is your cautious starter, handling that initial low-voltage star connection. Then there's the delta contactor, KM3, the absolute powerhouse runner that takes over for full-speed operation. And finally, the star delta timer. The timer is basically the coach. It sits on the sidelines, counts the seconds, and calls the exact play to switch from KM2 over to KM3. Which brings us to section 4, the transition sequence, step by step. We have our relay team ready, so let's actually put this system in motion. Here is the exact chronological sequence. Step 1, the start command is given. The main and star contactors close simultaneously. Step 2, the motor smoothly accelerates in that low-voltage star configuration. Step 3, the timer hits its preset mark and the star contactor opens. Now pay close attention to step 4. This is the transition, a brief open interval or dead time. This split-second pause is crucial. If the timing here is poorly selected, you risk brutal current spikes or mechanical shocks. But once it's clear, we hit step 5, the delta contactor safely closes. And finally, step 6, normal, continuous, full power operation in delta.
Next up, section 5, interlocks and overload protection, safety first.
Now, as elegant as that sequence is, industrial environments are inherently unpredictable. We have to prevent this complex system from destroying itself or the motor it's attached to. So the crucial point here is understanding exactly what we are protecting against. On one side, we have the overload relay, or OLR. This protects against prolonged excessive current. So if a pump is jammed or a bearing goes bad or there's just high mechanical friction, the motor strains and draws more current over time. The OLR senses this and safely trips the circuit. On the flip side is short circuit protection, which is entirely different. That handles sudden, violent electrical faults. A proper star-delta starter relies on both of these systems working in perfect harmony.
But wait, what about protecting the contactors from each other? Remember KM2 and KM3, the star and delta contactors? They must never be energized simultaneously. If they are, you create a massive, explosive short circuit. To prevent this from ever happening, we use interlocking. Electrical interlocking uses normally closed contacts so that if one coil is powered, the other circuit is literally physically broken. But best practice goes even further and uses mechanical interlocking too, an actual physical barrier between the contactors that makes it physically impossible for both to close at the same time. It's the ultimate belt and suspenders approach.
Finally, let's look at some practical applications and run through a quick summary.
So where do we actually see this clever bit of engineering out in the real world? And when should you actually choose a star-delta starter over a direct online starter? Well, star-delta gives you a much lower starting current and lower mechanical stress. But it definitely comes with higher cost, higher complexity, and critically, lower starting torque. Because of that lowered torque, this setup is absolutely perfect for things like centrifugal pumps, large fans, blowers, and unloaded conveyors. Basically, anything where the starting load is light and the machine doesn't need to fight incredibly hard just to get moving.
All right, to really lock all of this into your memory, let's do a quick roll call of our cast of characters and concepts one last time. Star is for starting with reduced voltage and current. Delta is for driving with full rated voltage. The timer is the coach that controls the transition. The OLR protects the system against mechanical overload. The interlock is the absolute safety guard, preventing star and delta from closing together. And DOL is your alternative, full voltage directly on the line.
I'll leave you with this final thought to ponder. We know that a star-delta starter drastically cuts starting torque down to roughly a third. So if you were an engineer tasked with starting a massive heavy-load application, like an industrial rock crusher fully loaded with giant boulders, would you ever try to use a star-delta starter? Think about what would happen to that motor trying to start on just 57% of its voltage. Thank you so much for joining me in this explainer today, and keep questioning how the machinery around you really works.
Star-delta starters reduce motor starting current. The motor starts in star, then automatically switches to delta for normal operation.